Hello everyone, I am Amit Bhuptani, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. I welcome you all on today's presentation related with the subject Industrial Engineering. In our today's discussion, we will study about the topic that is inspection and types of inspection. So before we begin our today's presentation, let us have an overview of today's presentation. The first topic that we will study, that is definition of inspection. Second, what are the purposes of inspection and types of inspection. So let us begin with our first point of discussion, that is definition or introduction to inspection. So what is inspection? It can be defined as an act of checking something or checking whether the parts, the components that has been manufactured, whether it is functioning certain functions or not, which has been predefined. So it's an act of checking something, whether it is component or item that is performing its functions accordingly or not. Or in other words, it's a means of checking the capability, it's a means of checking the acceptability of the manufactured product. Accepting the manufactured product according to the standards, according to the pre-described or predefined functions, whether it is working according to that or not. So it's a means of checking whether that manufactured product is manufactured according to the requirement, according to the pre-described or predefined levels or not. So with the help of inspection, one can check it. Or it measures the quality of product or services in terms of pre-decided standards. Whether the qualities that has been set, whether that standards has been attained or not, inspection will help you to measure that qualities of the product. Or product quality may be in terms of, or may be specified. Suppose we want the quality product in terms of surface finish. Okay, we will require 0.2 micron surface finish is required. So that whether that quality of that surface finish is attained or not. In terms of dimensions, okay, we want the dimensions that is 20 mm. So whether that product that is manufactured, that is in terms of that dimensions or not. In terms of hardness, okay, we require this much of hardness, whether that hardness is according to the specified standard or not. So it checks the qualities, it checks the pre-standards or pre-decided standards, or it checks whether the functions that has been decided, whether that component performs that functions in a smooth way or not. So inspection is simple. It checks the certain standards, it checks the quality. Next is purposes of inspection. Why inspection, or what is the main purpose of inspection? It will help you to separate or distinguish the defective parts from the non-defective parts, and it will also ensure that quality is maintained, quality of the product is maintained. So it will separate those defective parts from those non-defective parts, and it will also give you an ensurity or surety that the product quality which has been set, that is attained or not. It locates the defects in raw materials, yes, and flows in the process which otherwise causes the problem at the final stages. So once the product is finalized, then if you are not finding any of those, if there is no inspection done, then there are chances that that component, that item that is manufactured, that will be rejected. So with the help of inspection, or by doing the inspection, it will help you to locate the defects, any errors, any flaws in the processes, or any imperfection that is going on within the process, that is easily identified with the help of inspection. So it locates defects in raw materials and flows in the process. Flaws in the process means whether it is any imperfection that is going on, that can be separated and it can be located. Next is it prevents further work being done on semi-finished products. So at some stage, intermediate stage, if you are checking the product at the semi-finished stage, and if you are finding that this product is not as per the standards, there are some faults, so it will save the time and it will help you to remove that product, and it will help you to not work further on that spoiled product. So it saves time. It detects the source of weakness and trouble in the finished product and thus checks the work of the designers. It will help to identify where the errors are there, where the weakness is there in the product that is manufactured. It will try to identify that and also checks the work of the designer. So it will try to find out the main point of trouble where it caused, and it will help you to nullify that. Then it builds up a reputation of concern, as it helps in reducing the number of complaints for the customers. So by doing the inspection, you can get good results in terms of less number of complaints, because if you are not inspecting the parts that are manufactured, then there are chances that that product will have more number of complaints. But if that item or the component that is manufactured, and if it has gone through the inspections at various stages, then you can easily identify the errors or the weakness, you can easily locate the defects, and that will ultimately help you to produce the products that is errorless. So there are chances that the complaints that are coming, that will be less if the inspection has been done. So it sets a reputation of concern. Okay, we are always believing in good quality products, so that will help you to develop a reputation within the industry or within the market. This is all about the purposes of inspection. Next is types of inspection. Floor inspection. In that, first is floor inspection. Here the inspector walks around on the shop floor from machine to machine. Here the inspector, who is responsible for inspecting the or checking the samples, he is walking on the shop floor, and he will go through one machine to another machine and check the samples that has been produced or that has been worked by the machine operators. It helps catching errors during the process itself before the final production is ready. So here the operator itself moves on the shop floor or walks on the shop floor from machine to machine where the samples are being produced by the operators, and helps them to reduce the errors, or by catching the errors during the process itself before it is ready for the final production. So here that is all about floor inspection. Then fixed inspection. Here the work is brought at intervals for the inspectors to check. Fixed inspection means, suppose there are 5 stages for the job to be completed, then there are certain intervals at which the inspectors are located to inspect the samples or the job. It discovers defects after the job has been completed. So here during certain intervals or after certain intervals, the inspection is done by the inspectors. Third is key point inspection. There is always a key point in any of the product, so beyond which either the product requires an expensive operation or it may not be capable to rework. So at that stage, at key point, there is always an inspection to be done, and beyond which there is very important step to be decided, or at very important stage what to do, that is supposed to be decided at this key point. So at that there is an inspection to be done. Next, inspection of incoming materials or received materials. Here the raw materials are inspected, the materials which you are buying from some other vendors. So to eliminate those materials which do not meet specification and are likely to cause trouble during the processes. So whenever you are purchasing raw materials from other vendors, there is always an inspection to be done of this materials and whether that material that has arrived for your industry, whether it is as per the specifications that you have ordered, whether it is as per that specifications or not, so that it will cause less trouble when you are doing the production. Then evaluate vendor's quality and ability to supply acceptable materials. Yes, when you are purchasing it from the vendors, so evaluating that quality, the quality that you have asked them to deliver, whether that quality is as per that, whether it is as per the qualities that you have mentioned or not. So evaluating the vendor's quality and ability to supply acceptable materials. So whether the materials are acceptable or not, whether it is as per the some standards or not, that all is checked or evaluated of the vendors. Then inspection of raw materials may involve visual check up only, a dimensional check, a test of physical properties, etc. So raw materials can be checked visually also, their dimensions can be checked visually. Then test of physical properties, there can be used of different machines which are used to check the properties of material that can be used. Then after inspection, the right quality parts are sent to the stock room. After completing the inspection, whether some parts are not as per the right quality, then they are not sent to the stock room. So right quality parts are only sent to the stock room for doing the stock. Next is in-process inspection. The first products that go out of line are inspected for conformity. In-process inspection means during the process, whenever the parts are being made that got out of line are inspected for conformity. So here the parts, as the parts come out from the lines, they are inspected for the conformity, whether they are as per the standards or whether they are coming out as per the requirement or not, whether the standards that they have set, whether the specifications that they have set, whether it is coming out at that standards or not. So for just for the conformity basis. Then if issues are raised at this stage, the factory can immediately take actions and avoid delays. So during the in process, there is an feedback or control system which tries to identify the basis of errors or defects, and it will immediately take actions such that delays can be avoided. Then it can be carried out by the workers doing the job. Then next is may check first few parts of the new machine setup. When you are setting up a new machine or new setups are being arranged, then it will check whether some few parts that is manufactured with the help of or with the are manufactured with the help of this new setup, whether it is as per the standards or not, whether it is as per the quality or not. Then it is checked before it goes for the next operation. Suppose 5 operations are required, then doing the first operation you are inspecting it and then you are sending it to the next operation. Then a part before it goes for expensive operation, when it goes for some expensive operation, costly operation, before that also you are doing the inspection. Then a part after series of manufacturing inspection, that is also been done. Then parts before sub assemblies or final assemblies, because doing the assembly requires all the parts which is collecting, doing the assembly of part, it requires collection of all the different components or parts, and finally doing the assembly of all those parts to accomplish the one final product. So all those dimensions, all those tolerances, whether it is as per the specified standard or not, or whether all the dimensions are as per the mentioned or not, so that assembly can be well fitted. And a part which goes to the next department, before that also inspection is done. So this is all about in process inspection. Next is final inspection. It can be also said, or it is also known as pre-shipment inspection. So before dispatching or delivery of any component is done, Before that, one last time, the inspection that is known as final inspection or pre-shipment inspection. It is most popular type of inspection for the importers. It takes place once all the products are finished and ready for the shipment. So when all the components or all the products are finished and ready for the shipment, at that time this inspection is done and the samples are drawn randomly. So whether you are delivering 500 components, then after the production of all those 500 components, the samples from that 500 parts are randomly taken or are drawn randomly and checked whether it is as per the specification, whether it is as per the standards or not, and randomly that part is drawn from that 500 components, and the result of that one component will represent the whole batch. So based on that, final inspection is done and that will represent the whole batch of components. So this is all about inspection types. I hope this presentation would have helped you to understand what is inspection and types of inspection. Thank you.